It's the largest infrastructure project in the nation. And after 4 years of being stalled in Washington, the urgently needed Hudson River Tunnel project gets a green light.
Every single day, over 200,000 people travel through a pair of tunnels beneath the Hudson River without realizing they're riding through infrastructure built before World War I even started. These tunnels are the busiest rail link in America, carrying commuters between New Jersey and Manhattan through tubes that opened in 1910. They're also falling apart. If just one of these tunnels fails completely, the economic damage could hit $16 billion, and millions of people would lose their primary way to get to work. But after decades of political fights and funding battles, construction is finally underway on a $30 billion solution that will transform transportation in the Northeast forever. The North River Tunnel carries the weight of America's most critical rail corridor on its aging shoulders. Right now, 24 trains per hour squeeze through these narrow tubes during peak times, and the system is operating at absolute maximum capacity. Engineers warn that losing even one of the two tubes would instantly cut capacity in half, creating a transportation disaster unlike anything the region has ever seen. We're talking about the Northeast Corridor, which connects Washington, D.C. to Boston and generates roughly 20% of the entire United States GDP. This isn't some secondary rail line that a few people use for weekend trips. This is the economic backbone of the Eastern Seaboard, and it's held together by tunnels that have been in service for 115 years. The situation gets worse when you look at the numbers. More than 450 trains use these tunnels every single day, split between NJ Transit commuter trains and Amtrak's long-distance services. Penn Station in Manhattan, where these tunnels emerge, handles over 600,000 passengers daily, making it the busiest transportation hub in the entire Western Hemisphere. When delays happen in the North River Tunnel, the ripple effects spread across the entire Northeast. Between 2014 and 2018 alone, these tunnels caused 65,000 minutes of delays. That's over 1,000 hours of trains sitting still, passengers missing meetings, and businesses losing money. Maintenance crews work overnight in narrow windows between the last train and the first morning departure, but these repairs are just temporary fixes. The tunnels need comprehensive rehabilitation, but taking even one tube out of service for repairs would cripple the system. That's the impossible situation facing transportation officials right now. They can't properly fix the tunnels without closing them, but they can't close them without destroying the region's economy. The only solution is to build new tunnels first, then fix the old ones. October 29, 2012, transformed these aging tunnels from a concerning problem into an absolute crisis. Superstorm. Sandy slammed into the New York area with devastating force, and millions of gallons of salt water poured into the North River Tunnel through the West Side Yard in Manhattan. The tunnels essentially became underground rivers filled with corrosive seawater that saturated every electrical system, cable, and concrete surface. When the water finally receded, engineers faced a nightmare scenario that would take years to fully understand. The immediate visible damage was bad enough. Tunnel walls showed obvious watermarks, electrical equipment was destroyed, and signal systems were completely knocked out. But the real danger lurked beneath the surface. Literally. Salt water had penetrated deep into the concrete, reaching the steel reinforcement bars that give the tunnel its structural strength. Salt doesn't just damage infrastructure once and stop. It keeps corroding month after month, year after year, slowly eating away at the metal that holds everything together. A 2014 engineering assessment revealed damages totaling $689 million, far exceeding initial estimates. The electrical systems took the worst beating. Cables that carry power to the trains started failing at alarming rates. Between 2014 and 2018, there were multiple instances of cables literally exploding inside the tunnels, shooting flames and creating dangerous situations for passengers and crew. Signal failures became routine, forcing trains to slow down or stop completely until technicians could diagnose and patch the problems. Each failure meant delays that cascaded across the entire rail network, affecting hundreds of thousands of commuters. Amtrak and NJ Transit crews now spend every night working inside these tunnels, replacing damaged components and monitoring systems that could fail at any moment. They're essentially keeping a patient on life support, knowing that the underlying disease continues to worsen. The tunnels need complete reconstruction of their electrical systems, new waterproofing to prevent future flooding, and structural reinforcement to ensure they can safely operate for decades to come. But all of that work requires taking the tunnels out of service, which brings us back to the central problem that makes new construction absolutely essential. When the Pennsylvania Railroad decided to tunnel under the Hudson River in 1902, they were attempting something that many engineers considered impossible. The riverbed consisted of soft sediments that could collapse at any moment. Water pressure was enormous, and they had to dig 5,900 feet through one of the most challenging underwater environments in North America. The project took 8 years and required innovations that pushed the boundaries of early 20th century engineering. Construction crews used a technique called the shield method, working inside massive steel cylinders that protected them from water and collapsing soil. These shields slowly advanced forward as workers excavated material by hand and installed huge cast iron rings to support the tunnel walls. The rings, each weighing several tons, were bolted together to create a permanent structure that could withstand the immense pressure of the river above. The work was dangerous, uncomfortable, and incredibly slow. Progress was measured in feet per day, not miles per month. The tunnels opened on November 27, 1910, ending the era when passengers had to take ferries across the Hudson River to reach Manhattan. For the first time, trains could run directly from New Jersey into Penn Station in the middle of Manhattan, revolutionizing transportation across the entire region. The Pennsylvania Railroad built the tunnels for electric trains from the start, which was forward-thinking for that era, when many railroads still relied on coal-burning steam locomotives. The electric traction system meant cleaner air in the tunnels and more efficient operations. Fast forward to 2010, and transportation officials finally attempted to build modern replacement tunnels through a project called Access to the Region's Core, or ARC.
We're piggybacking off of this primary outage over at the portal of the South Tube. The repairs we do on a regular weeknight, we have such a short window to work.
The $8.7 billion plan would have created new capacity and allowed rehabilitation of the old tunnels. But New Jersey Governor Chris Christie canceled the project over cost concerns and disagreements about funding responsibilities.
That a project tunneling under Manhattan Island and the Hudson River will run even close to these cost estimates.
That decision delayed any solution by years and allowed the existing tunnels to deteriorate further. The cancellation of ARC stands as one of the most controversial infrastructure decisions in recent American history, leaving the region stuck with tunnels that were already showing serious signs of age before Superstorm Sandy made everything dramatically worse. The Hudson Tunnel Project represents the largest active infrastructure undertaking in the United States right now, and the scope of work is staggering. 2 brand new single-track tunnels will run 4.5 miles from North Bergen, New Jersey, under the Hudson River and into Manhattan. The project will cut through the solid rock of the Palisades, navigate the unpredictable riverbed sediments, and emerge beneath one of the most densely developed neighborhoods on Earth. Once these new tunnels are operational, crews can finally take the old 1910 tunnels offline one at a time for complete rehabilitation without crippling the transportation system. As of 2025, construction is happening right now across multiple sites. The Tunnel Avenue Bridge project in New Jersey is creating access routes for the massive tunnel boring machines that will do the actual digging. These TBMs are engineering marvels themselves, nearly fully assembled and scheduled to launch in mid-2026. Each machine weighs thousands of tons and will slowly grind through rock and soil, installing precast concrete segments behind them to create finished tunnel walls as they advance. The Hudson River Ground Stabilization Project is addressing one of the biggest challenges by turning the soft riverbed sediments into stable ground that can support tunnel construction. Engineers describe the untreated riverbed as having the consistency of chocolate pudding, which obviously won't support a tunnel carrying trains loaded with passengers. Manhattan presents its own unique complications. The island is packed with existing subway tunnels, utility lines, water mains, sewer systems, and foundation elements from skyscrapers. The $1.18 billion Manhattan Tunnel Project contract covers preparing the underground environment for the new tunnels by relocating, protecting, or working around all of this existing infrastructure. One brilliant piece of planning happened years ago when developers built the Hudson Yards complex. Engineers convinced them to install an 800-foot concrete tunnel box during construction, preserving a pathway for the future rail tunnels through what is now some of the most expensive real estate in America. Without that tunnel box, built before it was technically needed, the project would face enormous additional costs and complications. The new tunnels will include 3 fan plants for ventilation, emergency egress points so passengers can evacuate if something goes wrong, and state-of-the-art flood prevention systems designed to prevent another Sandy-scale disaster. Modern waterproofing technology has advanced significantly since 1910, and these tunnels are being built to withstand the climate challenges of the next century, not just current conditions. Getting this project funded required overcoming years of political gridlock and disagreements between federal and state governments. During the first Trump administration, disputes over cost-sharing arrangements effectively stalled progress, with federal transportation officials and regional agencies unable to agree on who should pay what percentage of the bill. The Biden administration changed everything in 2021 by making the Gateway program a top national priority. In July 2023, the project received a record-breaking $6.88 billion grant from the Federal Transit Administration, the largest grant in that agency's entire history. By 2024, $12 billion of the $16 billion total cost was secured through a combination of federal funding, low-interest loans, and commitments from Amtrak, NJ Transit, the Port Authority, and the state governments of New York and New Jersey. The construction timeline is aggressive but realistic. Full-scale tunnel boring begins in 2026 and continues through 2027. The new tunnels should be operational by 2035, at which point crews can finally begin the comprehensive rehabilitation of the original 1910 tunnels. That rehabilitation work will take until 2038, meaning the entire project spans roughly 15 years from current construction to final completion. The economic impact is substantial. The project is creating 95,000 jobs when you count direct construction workers, suppliers, and induced employment in supporting industries. During the construction phase, the project will generate $19.6 billion in economic activity. Beyond the construction jobs and immediate economic benefits, this project fundamentally changes the future of transportation in the Northeast. With 4 tracks instead of 2 crossing the Hudson, Amtrak can expand high-speed rail service between Boston and Washington. NJ Transit can add more frequent trains, reducing overcrowding and improving reliability for daily commuters. The region gains resilience against future storms and disasters because losing one tunnel no longer means losing half the capacity. The project also supports climate goals by making rail transportation more attractive and reliable, potentially reducing highway congestion and car emissions across the entire Northeast corridor. So, what do you think about this massive infrastructure project? Do you believe America can successfully complete this critical tunnel system on time and on budget? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the mega projects shaping our world. Until next time, stay curious.